Oh, hello, lovely people. Hello, 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 and a very good evening. Trust you all are well and good. Hi, what's up? How has your Monday been? Has it been as manic as um you figured it was going to be, or how was it? How was your Monday? By the way, I'm watching Emily in Paris, the season 4, I think, part 2. So if you feel concentrating on the tally, just know that that's what I'm watching. Hi there. If this is your first time, I welcome you to my late night talk, which has become something like a habit, or um, a new thing that I've come to love doing. Um, the reason why I have decided to start doing all these late night talks is, to try and connect with people who, like myself, consider themselves to be loners. Okay, loners. A loner is someone who enjoys their own company, and I think I've become an expert. I'm I've become an expert in loneliness. And I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it because the benefits are enormous. They are humongous. Um, yeah, they are. The peace of mind you have, eh, for enjoying your own company is something worth more than gold. Okay, this brings me to tonight's topic. How different are you? What makes you different? How weird are you? Okay, I know within the African community, when you use such terms on someone, it is kind of frowned upon. Like, people don't want to admit, hi, Ayola, how are you? People don't want to admit that they are somewhat different. They are special. Let me use that word, special. Okay. What motivated me in bringing up this topic was the a viewer that I had yesterday, okay, who made mention of the fact that he enjoys wearing his mom's undies when his mom is not around. So it's more like a fantasy, will I call it that way? I know some people will consider it weird, but at the end of the day, who are you to judge what someone's fantasy is? Who are you to judge what someone's fantasy is? Because there are people who kind of do weird things, like so weird, so weird, you know. And this is what makes us all different from one another. This is what separates us from other people. This is what makes us special, okay? Because there is this thing called the holistic person, okay? The holistic person. It is something that has been adapted into healthcare, whereby if you go to the hospital and you are unwell, okay, the initial assessment that is carried out on you is supposed to try and figure out why or what is making you unwell, and how the illness affects you. So you assess the person holistically. And this means that you try to find out some of their daily habits. For instance, how often do you go to the toilet? Like, how often do you poo? It is very important. Um, how often do you know, like to have a wash? It is very important, because when you go to care of the elderly, when you go to an elderly ward, you or when you work in an elderly ward, you get to find out that, especially in this country, we have seasons, we have different kinds of weathers, okay? And in winter, because of the cold, a lot of people change their habits, okay? They try to adjust themselves to the sort of lifestyle that will make them comfortable. So someone can decide that they will only have a shower once a week, or once a month, or there are people who, someone would say, I've only, or I haven't showered the whole year. There are people like that, believe you me, there are people like that. Also, how often do you change your clothing? How often do you change your undies? These are habits that people get into, and it has a significant effect on the health and well-being of people. Okay, so you shouldn't be judgmental, and you shouldn't be dismissive of people's habits, no matter how awkward or how different it is to you. Individual differences is a very important issue. Very important in the sense that, as human beings, there are things that set us apart. Culturally is one. Um, Apart from well, I think it's almost the same. Okay. Culture, we're talking about people coming from different parts of the world. And even within the same country, different types of cultures sets people apart. Okay. The fact that you come from the same country doesn't mean that you share the same culture with everyone else from your country. You all have different cultures. So that is what sets you apart. And what meanings of things, habits, and certain behaviors in one culture differs significantly from another culture. That is why we need to learn to respect people for who they are. Okay, very, very important. Someone would say, why should my personal habit have an effect on my health? Let's say if I go to the hospital, why will the hospital bother assessing me holistically? Or, and I forgot to mention that religious assessment is also part of the holistic assessment, because spirituality, people's spiritual being, has an impact on the choices they make. So if I consider myself a Christian and I am very religious, and then I go to the hospital, let's say if I were a Jehovah Witness, I end up in hospital, the chance of me not accepting blood transfusion is higher than me being a non-Jehovah Witness person. That is why holistic assessment is very, very important in healthcare. In the same way, when dealing with people, you need to try and take into consideration these holistic aspect of people, like the religious aspect, the cultural aspect, and everything. Because, hi, Ira, how are you? Because let's say, okay, I grew up in a Muslim community, a Muslim dominated community, okay? And for us to be able to live in harmony, we had to learn to tolerate each other, even though there had been occasions whereby there have been disagreements among the neighbors. The disagreements being that an Alaji came and built a house in the neighborhood. And when he built the house, he built a mosque attached to the house. And then the mosque uses these loudspeakers, okay? Now, the position of the mosque was directly opposite someone's window or someone's house. So you can imagine the discomfort, the noise. Hi, Rajeshni. You can imagine the discomfort, the noise, and the unpleasant experience that this neighbor, all of a sudden you've got a new neighbor who is making so much noise because of their religious prayer habits. So it became an issue, and I don't know how it was resolved or it was resolved in the end. But the mosque is still there till date, even though I traveled or I left that neighborhood, many years ago. So these are some of the things that I mentioned, religious differences, individual differences. Uh, you know, I like growing up in that Muslim community, we had to learn to respect people. It got to a point, we even sat in some of their Arabic teachings, so I think I do know part of the recital for the Muslim prayer. I do know it, but you have to learn to respect people for who they are, and what makes them different. So these are some of the things that I talk about. So if you come to my house and you are a Muslim, of course you are welcome, and it is my duty to make you feel comfortable, to respect you, to make provisions of everything that you need. For instance, Muslims pray 5 times a day. So if you are a guest in my house, and I do have Muslim guests, I do get a lot of them, uh, because I have childhood friends from the community that I said I grew up in, who live here, and sometimes I do host some of them. So if you're a Muslim and you're coming to visit me, I have to be able to make you comfortable, and I have to make provisions for you to be able to partake or to observe your prayers and things like that, and also food wise, as a professional um, chef, as a professional chef, I have general knowledge on what people eat and do not eat based on their religion. And most of the things that I eat, Muslims do not eat that. So how do I respect their religion and make sure that I am not forcing them to commit acts which are against their religion. So these are some of the things I am mentioning about. So that is why respecting people for who they are is very, very important. That individual differences. Everyone is different. Everyone is special. You shouldn't feel threatened. You shouldn't feel um, upset. You shouldn't feel annoyed. You shouldn't feel that everyone should be like you. No, we cannot. No one can be, like the other. We can be similar, but we cannot be exactly the same. Okay. It's just like someone asked me a question on Facebook whether I'm a cult leader. No, it's very interesting. So I like to hear things like this. So the person wanted to know whether I was a leader of a cult, simply because I have a lot of Africans on my page who, accord me that respect of being, an older person. Okay, so they will address me as mom, mommy, mom, and it's very common within the African culture. We call people, or we address people who are older than us as our aunties, our uncles. We accord them that respect. It doesn't mean that when you have a lot of people addressing one person as such, the person is a cult leader. So these are some of the things that we need to be able to enlighten other people about. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, oh, sorry. It's so funny. Just imagine me being a cult leader. Oh my days, that would really be fun. That would really be fun and interesting. Yeah. Now, on a serious note, I am such a chilled out person that you know I like to see everyone. I like to treat everyone equally or everyone the same. It doesn't matter whether you are older or younger. It's that is more of a humble act. Okay, very humble. And that is how we are all supposed to be. You don't have to try to be, what's the name, try to suppress people or try to act as superior than other people. At the end of the day, what do you get from doing that? What do you get from doing that? Okay. So that is why I feel that being hi, Bashir, how are you? Hello. Good to, oh, you're welcome and good to meet you. Good to see you. Yeah. So you just see, I've come to a point in my life here where I feel that there is a lot that needs to be done in terms of being able to learn about other people. Okay. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Good. Yeah. So there was a point in my life where I wish I could learn things about the Hindus, the Jews, as in go deeper to understand them, to know more about them. Okay. Um, and I went through phases, right? Where, hi, Ayub, how are you? I went through phases where I was um I was into Indian programs, okay? My family members will tell you I was so much into Indian programs simply because it helped me learn about the culture, okay? And not only that, but I did work with a couple of Indians whom I enjoyed working with so much. And I'm talking about how many years now? Almost 25 years now, or 25 years ago, that I worked with them. All nice people, and all these Indian TV programs helped me, you know, gain a little bit of insight about the Indian culture. So not just the Indian. So I moved from India and then I went to other Asian stuff, like what's the name? Korean K drama. Hi, Juliet. How are you, darling? Yeah, no. And now I'm a very big fan of K drama or everything Korean. So Korean, Japan, uh, Chinese, you know, and these are some of the things that I try to get into to try and learn about, how different these people are from myself. Okay. So the world would be a better place if we are very tolerating and accepting of one another. Okay. Now, apart from these, you know, major differences that I have mentioned, right? Let's go back to the guest I had yesterday, who had this, this, you will call it awkward or weird, but it is something that is becoming very popular. These days, we have a lot of people who are into cross dressing. Okay. Oh, you're from Morocco. Oh, okay. Hello, hello, hello. I nearly drove down to Morocco in May. I went driving around Europe. I did over 10,000 kilometers. I drove my car from the UK and I went through a whole lot of other African countries. The closest I got to um, Morocco was towards the border from Portugal. From Portugal. So unfortunately, I couldn't get to. I couldn't get to. Oh, hi, 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 James. I remember you very well. Good to have you back. How are you? How are you? How did you feel in your pink undies? Yeah. Did you feel good or was it the wrong choice? Mm? Good to have you back. So, my good friend James is back with us this evening, um, and James is very special and very different. Okay. And I respect him for that. And I respect him for his confidence and his boldness, because we have a lot of people who have all these weird or different kind of fantasies and what do you call it, but they cannot really come out, they cannot really come out with it. And sometimes what makes it bad, or what kind of turns it into a negative thing, is the fact that you, okay, inbox you. Where should I inbox you? What would you like me to inbox you, Ayub? Mm. So what makes it really what turns it into a negative thing is the fact that they are not able to express themselves openly. So it bottles up, bottles up, bottles up, and then Oh, you've got the white undies today. White lace. Okay. Okay. And are they pair of tongues or just normal briefs? So what makes it awkward or turns it into something negative psychologically is the fact that, okay, I'll try and do that, is the fact that people are not able to talk to anyone about their differences, about their fantasies, about, what they like to do. And like I said, I decided to do these nighttime, late night programs because, you know, a lot of people find themselves loneliness or lonely. I wouldn't use the word lonely because you saying lonely makes it more of a negative thing, you know, because there are people like us who by choice prefer our own company. Like we prefer to be alone most of the time. We prefer to do things on our own. Because sometimes it is so depressing, it is so frustrating, it is so, you know, suffocating when you have a whole lot of other people around you whose vibe brings negative energy, okay? Negativity. Like you are constantly stressed and depressed and worried and frustrated and sad, about the fact that this person is affecting you negatively and that person is dragging you, so sometimes, you move yourself out of that environment just to have that quality time for yourself and be able to do anything you want to do. And that is where some of us have reached. Okay. So there are other people who have been on that journey, but they are not feeling the positivity because maybe the reason why they ended up being loners is because they are different from other people. They have become an outcast by their own society. Like they truly do not have anyone to talk to. They do not have friends. They do not, those kind of things. They just don't have it. So every now and then they would want someone to talk to. And during the daytime, there are so many things going on that they don't feel that loneliness or that loneliness. So it is at this time of the night that, people will go into their room and they'll cry in their bed because, there is no one to you know, hear them. There is no one that they can rant to or cry to or mourn to about how their day has been. So I'm just trying to start this thing whereby, just like-minded people, you pour your heart out, say whatever you want to say, okay, and not be judged, not be judged. Okay. Have I done anything interesting today? Unfortunately, oh yes, I did. I did a whole lot of videos. I did a whole lot of dancing videos. I love dancing, but I think I am an awful dancer. Okay. I don't really know how to dance. And I dance better when I'm on my own in my own confinement or when I'm sitting in the car and I'm driving and there's music playing. So today I decided to like really outdo myself in terms of dancing. So that was what I did, James. That was what I did. What did you do? What about you? What did you do today? How interesting was your day? Mm. How interesting was your day? Anyway, so guys, like I am saying, if you're watching me, or if you ever come across my video, like feel free. You want to join the live, feel free to request to join. You have anything you want to share, feel free. We are not here to judge, we are just here to listen, and to just chat, make friends. Okay. Ah. Pretty comfortable. Okay, okay, okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. No, but honestly, feel free. So, James, have you ever spoken to anyone about, what you like to do in terms of, your interest in all these undies? Have you ever spoken to anyone about it, or have you kept it to yourself? Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue talking. Let's continue talking. So, guys, individual differences. Individual differences. There's always a reason why people become different. There is a reason, you know. Sometimes they am I watching a movie? Yes, I'm watching Emily in Paris. Emily in Paris, the season 4, part 2. So is the latest, the latest series on Netflix. They just uploaded it, and I just found it, so I decided to watch it today. Right, guys. So, like I was saying, there is a reason why people choose to be different. Believe you me, there is a reason. And just like I said, that mine is by choice. Your auntie knows she put them. Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad at least you've got someone who is supportive of you, you know. And that is very important, because sometimes you just need one person that you can sort of share. You can share your um you know anything that is happening to you, you can share with that person. You just need one person to do that. Okay. So that at least is a positive thing for you, and that will help you a great deal to be more relaxed, to be more positive towards what you do. Because, like I said, a lot of people will frown upon it. A lot of people will be like, why would you? Why would they will call you a pervert? They will be like, it's not normal. It's not normal that you prefer ladies' undies. Well, it isn't that you do it all the time, but um, you just do it, to fulfill a desire, to fulfill a need. Okay. So that is one positive thing that I can sort of pinpoint. But apart from that, like, you need at least one person who knows what you are all about, so that later on it doesn't look as if you are just some crazy demented person who she found that out when you went to an adult fancy dress party. Okay, you had no idea that your auntie was at the party. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. At least, that's a good thing and very fortunate of you. Very, very fortunate, and at least you've got her blessings and she'll always support you no matter what. She will always support you and, help you through it. You see. So, but sometimes at the end of the day, these differences or these different attitude, these fantasies and things that we find ourselves drawn to can only be temporary. Sometimes it's not permanent, because like I've come to realize, right? Like I have come to realize there are a whole lot of things that I find myself desiring, like clothing, like cars, like, anything, a lot of material things. But the thing is, the moment I acquire it or I get it or I lay my hands on it, then I get to realize that, oh, there is nothing special about it after all, and then that is it. There's nothing special about that thing. And then that is it. Then I don't desire it anymore. I just use it once and then that's me done. Yeah. So over the years, I've gone through so many cars. Like I would say in the last 20, what years? I've had a different car every year. It's terrible, isn't it? No, but I am not saying this as a form of bragging. No, because even though I've gone through such number of cars, I do not pay full price for those cars. Okay. I only get them, secondhand. Right. I only get them secondhand because I know how I am. I know how I am. I get something, and the moment I have it, then I don't want it anymore, or I don't desire it anymore, or it's no longer special. Yeah. So I can say maybe if I want what car, let's say a Jeep, a Range Rover, or whatever it is. All I just have to do is to save up some money, buy it. But the thing is, the moment I buy it, I drive it, and then I'm like, oh, it's not special at all, or there is nothing special about it. So why was I just, having that desire to have it? Like, I must have it, I must have it, I must have it. And then all of a sudden, yeah. So most of the times, these fantasies that people have and doing the things they do differently, it's always short-lived. So that is why you need to allow people to be who they want to be, yeah. When I'm not live streaming, what do I do to pass time? Oh, I'm a workaholic. Believe you or not, I am a workaholic. As in, the good thing is, I think since last year and this year, I've kind of taken things easy and calm. Yeah. So I have 4 different professional careers, but the one that I am drawn to is one that is also a hobby. Okay. So I am an ex-military chef and I love cooking. So cooking is more of a hobby than an actual job. So I did military and then I did healthcare training, nursing training, and I did accounting and finance training, and I did psychology. But most of them, I did them because I just like to learn about something new, believe you me or not. When I was in the military, we had access to short courses, right? And I by then I was still a bit younger, okay? So I did my military training in 2006, towards the end of 2006. So how many years now? So 18 years now, right? 18 years now. Uh, and after the training, before I went into military, I had studied in college. I had done an access course to do nursing. So I went straight into military. And then while in military, all these short courses, I just got through them like that. Like I did every course that I could get because I always use my spare time or my free time to study. Apart from watching TV, that was the other thing that I did. Then I decided to, after doing all that, I applied to do a degree in nursing, which I did while still in the military. In fact, I think I was on maternity leave, right? So maternity leave, I did the nurse. I used that year of maternity leave. I started almost 3 months after delivery, did the nursing, back to full-time military duties, and I was doing both at the same time. So I was doing military and I was doing healthcare, at the same time. I had the permission to do that. And uh, when I left, I was like, oh, I don't really feel it, like sometimes you're like, oh, my nursing is my calling or healthcare is your calling, blah, blah, blah. Then you go and do it, and then you realize that no, you don't get that job satisfaction from that. So, and I'm someone who loves traveling as well. I love traveling. I love driving cross country. So I'll drive from the UK to Europe, anywhere in Europe. I ever drove from England to southern Germany in how many? I think it was 48 hours. 48 hours. And it was around Christmas. It was around Christmas. I had to do like a return journey with kids and one other adult, but I was the driver. I drove to and back. It was one hell of a trip, so driving long distances, studying, working, so my life had always been like that. This is the only time. Good night, James. Good night. Oh, you ended up wearing red today. Good for you. Good for you. Night, night. Right. So, where's the name? I just love doing stuff. So this is the only time this is the only time that I have kind of taken, you know, a backseat approach to try and do a lot of socializing because I have no social life. Believe you me, I have no social life. My idea of fun or my kind of social, anything social, is to stay at home in bed all day and watch TV. That is me. I'd rather stay at home, watch TV all day than to go out and do anything fun. I am that boring. Mm. Well, some people who are outgoing will think I'm boring, but you know, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, guys, right. I think we've talked enough, right? Because it's late. What time is it? Ah, it's 40 past 12, 40 past midnight. Yeah, so it's late. Okay. Hi, just you. It's been a pleasure having you on. Right. Okay, guys. I guess this is where we'll bring our conversation to an end. So, what I'd like to leave you guys with is that the people are different. eh, And there are reasons why people do what they do. There are reasons why people choose to be different. Those that become different by other means other than their own personal choice, it's more psychological, which has a greater chance of affecting their mental health. See, sometimes people just need a little bit of support to feel loved. And people decide to be weird or to be different because they lack they lack that kind of affection, or they lack that kind of acceptance from other people. So sometimes they might try to hide it from everyone else, but you know, otherwise they will just try to be open about it. They'll try to be open. And being open is very liberating, very, very liberating. It's very healing. Like it brings some sort of healing and some sort of satisfaction and contentment to these people. That is why we need to be less judgmental and then just try to give your support, even if you do not agree with that. Just give it your support and then see how it goes. Okay. So, thank you very much for your time and your company and your engagement. Your engagement. Hopefully, you know, I'll try and back again sometime tomorrow, God willing. Okay. Yeah. Try and do this again. Hopefully tomorrow. So till then, it is good night and sweet dreams. Okay? Ciao. Nous allons au Shangema. C'est bien la loi de la nature. Nous ayons ce dans les biens à la trait, suivons-les avec Dieu. Nous ayons ce dans les biens à